think the NBA lockout boils down to? Money. How many people are devastated if NBA basketball doesn't have seasons? I am one of them. Is it fair for the fans? I haven't watched an NBA basketball since I was old enough to walk. And to find out that the lockout has moved past preseason into the regular season is disturbing. As stated by the Oakland Press, NBA Commissioner David Stearns canceled the rest of the November game, saying that there would be not a full season under any circumstances. This move came about when litigation broke down again with both sides refused to budge on how to split the league's revenue. Owners insist on a 50-50 split, while the players formally proposed that they get 52.5%, which leaves them about $100 million apart per year. In the previous collective bargaining agreement, the players were guaranteed 57% of the BRI, which means basic rates of interest. This agreement brought about a contract of more than $100 million over several years for franchise players such as Kevin Garnett, Shaquille O'Neal, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Dirk Nowitzki, and Kobe Bryant, among others. The issue surrounding the lockout begins with 1 or 2 percentage points between the owners and the players. This amounts to about 60 to 80 million in one season, more than 500 million to $1 billion in 10 years. The owners are offering a BRI as low as 49% to 51%, but the players are sure that they will never get the 51% mark based on the revenues. The 50-50 split was the offer that the NBA offered. Another issue remains unsolved is the salary cap and the luxury tax system. The owners want the tax system that escalate for each $5 million over the luxury tax and penalize clubs that exceed the luxury tax more than 3 to 5 times a year. The unions are asking for less punitive taxes on smaller amounts and less years. The union is responding so strongly against the offer of the BI because they will be giving back to the franchise $240 million in the first year and $1.5 billion in the next 6 years. The last issue is the fact that the owners are not bending on the deal. They're actually threatening the deal will get worse as time goes on. The option that the players are limited. One option is that some favor the decertification. This means that the union will dissolve and the NBA will separate the trade organization. And stated by the U.S. Today, the certification is an option, but it is an expensive one. With no promise of a favorable outcome to the players, at this stage of the lockout, certification risks legal removal and more almost ensure a loss of a season. Yet this player used the certification as a threat. It could give the union some leverage and force the owners to offer a more suitable deal for the players both. The next option to accept is the 50-50 split. That is being offered by the league. Some players don't like it, but it's much better than the current BRI that are paying the NBA players. As stated by ESPN Magazine, Howard Stearns, the issue deadlines for the deal, which players argue that makes it virtually impossible for them to get anywhere close to the 50.2% revenue. Yet, it is the players do not accept the deal. Stearns said the next offer will cause for a 53 to 47 split in the owner's favor, along with a hard salary cap. At this point, the players will not receive their first paycheck on November 15th. And if it Wednesday comes and no deal is met, the league will be forced to cancel December game. Finally, if a deal is not met by January the 7th, the league will cancel the whole entire 2011-2012 basketball season. Therefore, it can conclude that we are on the brink of losing the entire season of basketball for millions of fans. The owners are asking to lower the BRI to 57 to 50.2%, and the players are dead against it. They have refused to play, and the owners are refusing to budge on the deal. They are actually threatening to reduce the percentage initial offer to 47%, which is 10% lower than the previous agreement. In many cases, when an employee is unhappy with the salary, they can find another job with another company that is paying more competitive salaries. But what can an NBA player, basketball player, that receive millions and millions of dollars salaries for 5 preseason games, 82 regular season games, and receive an additional bonus for 19 postseason games that they have played? If they make it, they have the option to play overseas. But this conversation is nothing like the NBA. So we are forced to hold out and receive less or nothing. Or make a deal or receive the 50.2%. Time is running out. And the fans are the ones who are suffering because without us, nobody has any money to fight about. Thank you. All right, man, Antoine Smith.